Oh, I guess I forgot. Well, I was going to engineer an intro because I did not get this down because of the topic of today's movie.
Okay.
I knocked it off and was putting it back together. And then you walked in and were like, oh, good call. And I was like,
Oh, good
light
call.
bulb. So. Hello, everybody. I am Will.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is So I'm Watching This Show, your new favorite YouTube pop culture YouTube channel where we talk about movies, TV, music, and more. And as
I love it when you say one of the things twice because you get too flustered. YouTube, pop culture YouTube show. Wacky waving arms, inflatable tube man.
started to launch in on the movie. And then I was like, oh no, I need to introduce the show. And so I'm watching this show. We talk about spoilers. On today's episode, we are going to have a conversation about the new Netflix horror film.
You were having a lot of reactions, so that's maybe not too far off.
Netflix holiday movie, Single All the Way.
Woo.
You have feelings for him.
If Nick and I ever went there and it didn't work out, I would lose him.
But what if it did work out?
The gays just know how to do stuff. For some reason, they're always obsessed with me.
We better not, actually, because that song is like so expensive.
I think
Jingle Bell Rock.
I think it's not recognizable if you're humming it. You're probably fine.
No, but that's why there's like so many knockoff versions of it. There's like versions that are meant to elicit Jingle Bell Rock.
Jingle Bell Rock, but not the actual Jingle Bell Rock. It's like there's a New Girl where Jess and Winston are reading Rainbow, and they sing all of it up until it's reading Rainbow, and he's just like, you know the rest. And I always have been like, is that why
Maybe
they stopped there?
So, to begin, what is your relationship with the holiday movies and holiday rom-coms, and they've taken over the world in spectacular fashion?
Okay. I am extremely picky with rom-coms.
Mm-hmm.
So I am picky. I'll watch a lot. I do not rewatch a lot.
Okay.
I rewatch very specific ones. So
let me put it this way. She's passionate about the ones she likes.
Yeah. Why would I not be?
You were like,
Doy.
This doesn't come from casual. Like, go ahead.
So yeah, I deeply love the rom-coms I love. And then the rest, I'm just sort of like, that was a movie I saw and I move on. As for holiday movies, I really do not do the whole Hallmark Lifetime stuff.
It's a shame neither of us do. We could be bathing in clicks if we did.
We really could. We really, really could. I'm not opposed to trying it out, but my issue is that I think I would mostly get angry because they're very predictable.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, sometimes that's what you want out of a rom-com, but
according to my mom, that is apparently the appeal.
So, okay, here's the thing. I will throw down a gauntlet with the viewers. If there are ones that you are passionate about, I am not forcing us to cover them.
I'm not part of this.
I will watch them if you are passionate about it. Passionate. Don't just be like, oh my God, the one with Candace Cameron. No, I need you to be very specific about why you love it. I'll watch it. You can follow us on Twitter at So I'm Watching. I'll maybe talk about it. But it has to be something that you love and you watch it now every year.
We should do YouTube has shorts, but we should do like Instagram or like short, like minute long recap reviews.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'm willing, but that's my thing is because there's just so many of them that I can't be like.
I don't know how they haven't run out of. It's like there's only 7 notes in the world.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how they haven't run out of words to smash around Christmas.
No, agreed.
Like,
that being said, the last couple years, I have actually really enjoyed a lot of new Christmas rom-coms.
Well, I think that's because we're not watching the Hallmark ones. We're watching. So
also, half of them have been gay. And I think that's a big part of it.
So I realized we made a mistake. This should be 2 episodes. We should do an episode just on the glut of Christmas movies and then talk about Single All the Way. But my mom is passionate about the Hallmark holiday Christmas movies, and has been for a good 10 years. She was ahead of the curve.
Yeah, she was.
And I've seen a handful of them. I watched the Mariah Carey one where she directed.
Yeah.
And had the good sense to cast herself as the villain.
You mentioned
that was a real turning point for her, I think.
Sure.
I think she hired an image consultant.
That makes sense. That was maybe overdue.
Mm-hmm. But so I hate them. I have never been a Christmas person.
Mm-hmm.
I like it in the sense that I'm nostalgic. And also, I mean, as a kid, I got presents.
Yeah.
And
time off of school.
Yeah. And now it's like, it's fun to decorate, but we don't have aggressively.
Yeah, you'll notice that it's not red and green.
Yeah.
Even our big tree is like sage and rose gold.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't. I don't love it. It there's not enough sex.
Okay, I will mostly agree with that, except for I read a lot of sex, and so I'm not looking for that in my like.
So you're reading smut
media
while you're watching?
Not while I'm watching, but it's like I'm getting that from somewhere else. So like when I'm watching a Christmas romantic comedy, I am expecting a chaste kiss at the end, and that's it.
So long story short, too late. We watched Single all the way. I'm just going to come out and say it. For the most part, I thought it was pretty great.
Yeah.
There are two ways for me to look at this. These are the types of movies that you sort of have to, it's like, you can't watch a musical and be like, why are they singing? How do they know the words? You just don't fight the premise.
It is kind of a doozy in this one.
Did you, what's your take? What did you?
I mostly loved it. I watched it the other day by myself. I came home from work. I just like didn't really feel like doing much of anything. So I watched it, while I was having one of my advent calendar wines that your mom got me from Aldi. I just mostly like had a great time. First of all, the cast is like weirdly stacked with people that you know. And then it just was fun and cute. And like, where has Michael Urie been? Because I feel like he hasn't been busy enough, and he's great. Yeah, I wondered that myself. It very much feels like a spiritual cousin to Happiest Season. Sure. It's not quite as fraught as Happiest Season. Well, that's because in Happiest Season, that was a horror film. She had, spoilers for Happiest Season, which came out on Hulu last year. Mackenzie Davis had not come out yet in that one. And then traps her girlfriend. Right. And so like in this one, they're all out. The whole family loves it. The whole family loves the friend. Everyone's cool. They're trying to set him up on dates. And like, so there, like, you're right. It was way less fraught. It was just like the gay is like the top billing in this one. And in that regard, this was miraculous. Like this was, it was straightforward. It was sweet. It was necessarily sexless. Yeah. It was very, very, I think even beyond serviceable. I think it's mostly good. It attempts to have a sense of humor. It largely delivers on that due to a great amount of heavy lifting from Jennifer Coolidge. I would say, and Jennifer Robertson. Sure. Jocelyn from Schitt's Creek. She gets a lot of really good face work. And that Jocelyn thing where she's like smiling, but like talking tensely from the back of her teeth. The moment where she like smashed the food into Luke McFarlane, it just kept going. It's so funny. I wonder if she was ad-libbing. Well, and the fact that she just kept being like, Peter! And he's like, I'm all the way over here. He's like, it's just always about you. That was a really good bit. She is a very gifted comedian. Yeah.
Here's a napkin. Seriously, when I was 11 years old, he ran over my science project with his remote-controlled Barbie Baywatch rescue cruiser. Oh my God. And the worst part was that I had actually figured out how to stop the polar ice caps from melting, but I couldn't remember how I figured it out. And now we have climate change because of Peter. Honestly, just, A surprisingly subdued performance from Kathy Najimy. Yeah, I thought so too. I really appreciated. Yeah, I thought so too. She was kind of my favorite part of this. Interesting. Because relatability-wise, because I'm not much of a dater and I'm not much of a Christmas person, so it was like, there's like 3-4 layers removed. I would never dream of moving back to my hometown to be with adolescent family. Never in a million years. Well, he's got 2 adult sisters. Sure. But it couldn't relate to that point or to that part. But I love that we're in this really exciting place where we're past the painful coming out story. Yeah. But we're not at full integration yet. Yeah. So I love the little
the little moments that feel very realistic. And I love that him being gay, is a non-issue.
Yeah.
Complete non-issue for every single person involved in this movie. But also that his mother is well into her journey.
Yeah.
Because it is a family journey as well. And she keeps referring back to this book that she's reading, that it's LGBT, and then she keeps adding a T every time she says it.
I'm reading this great book. It's called Loving Your LGBT Child.
I think you mean LGBTQ.
Yeah, whatever. Do I? Yeah, sure. That's it. Yes.
And there's a moment where he corrects her. And in my opinion, it was the funniest moment in the entire movie because she is sort of enraged and then immediately talks herself out of it and back into a supportive place. And it be like that sometimes. So
I definitely agree with you because the fact especially that she's like still on her journey, because it does feel like no one in the family was ever like angry or disappointed, but that they did have to do some work on themselves, even though they have been supportive.
Well,
the
there's
whole time.
a big plot in the beginning. So the plot, in case you don't know, is Michael Urie, Peter, and Nick is Phil. What was his name?
Philemon Chambers. I think that's how you say it. He is like a newcomer. This is number 2.
So cute.
He is real cute.
So cute.
Yeah.
I was at a loss. I mean, let's be honest. There's no reality where I'm not going with Luke McFarlane. But there was a part of me where I was like, why are we not addressing the elephant in the room, which is throuple, OnlyFans, take over the world.
Okay. Yep.
So much money.
Okay.
So much money.
Who has contacts at Netflix? Because I have an ideal for the sequel.
For starters, I mean, and this is the whole suspend disbelief, but I found it preposterous that that they had lived together for 9 years. And this is the first time they're ever having this conversation.
So they do mention that towards the end, that it's like, it's not the first time either of them have thought about it, but they've just never followed through. Also, I don't know that they've been living together for 9 years. They've been friends for 9 years.
Well, and furthermore, I absolutely appreciate the breaking of stereotypes, and I absolutely appreciate the depiction that not all gay men are just screwing like rabbits all the time. However, absolutely.
There's no way.
Unbelievable that
There's no way that they've been going to that sexy Christmas party every year and they've never boned after. It's unbelievable.
Because there's the joke that like, it's like we have sex first and then decide if we like each other. Yeah. Like, no, it is so completely unbelievable. But again, I appreciate the message. And also this is for, white people in flyover states and stuff. So it's like they need to have the sex sort of taken out of the LGBT to comprehend that we're people first and foremost. Yeah. So it's one of those things. But he's going home and needs his family to leave him alone. And
because he's always the single one. Both his sisters are married.
And it turns out that there's a little great cameo from Steve Lund, who I love from Bitten. And
he was also on Schitt's Creek.
Oh.
Yeah.
But didn't share any scenes with.
No, they didn't share because he was dating Stevie and David at the same time.
But I mean, in this.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, he's the married family man that Peter is unknowingly dating.
Yeah.
Peter knows he's dating him. He doesn't know.
He doesn't know that he's married. But Nick.
He's unknowingly dating Nick.
Nick finds out because he's doing a TaskRabbit.
Sponsored by TaskRabbit.
I hope. Yeah, so Nick has to tell Peter. And I actually love that there wasn't the conversation where Nick was like, I have something to tell you. It just like cut immediately to Peter breaking up with Tim and being like, you're married and you've been lying to me and your wife and yourself and like, get out of here. I liked that a lot.
My biggest hurdle is it appears that nobody in this New Hampshire town has ever heard of the word friend or friendship or even remotely aware of the concept, because there's this notion of if you're not married, then who is this human to you?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, why would you two ever be in a room together if you're not together? And I'm like, have these people never heard of a friend? Like,
well, you'll notice that they're all married or family. There's not a nary a friend in sight.
But there's like a literal line where he was like, if you moved away, I would miss you. And they're like, that's all the evidence you need that you're soulmates. Yeah. I cannot express how many people in my life I would miss if they moved.
Yeah.
Like,
same.
So that kind of drove me nuts. And especially because, like I said, I have no real desire for that
It's also-
kind of normality.
Normality.
There you go.
It's also endless. It's every single sentence, especially, which I thought they were very cute, but the two daughters, Daniela and Sophia, it's every line out of their mouths.
They did a lot with medium material.
They did really good, but it is every line they have. I don't know why you guys aren't just together. And then the one of them, I guess it's Sophia, is like, Uncle Peter feels the same way. And it's like, that's not what he said at all.
So there are a handful of times I gasped, like clutched my pearls, where I was like,
yeah.
And backing or like going back a little bit to my Kathy and Jimmy point is I also appreciated that of all the people. And yes, she's the one who sets him up on a blind date. But my favorite part about it is it's like not even a little bit misguided.
No.
It's actually a good, they make a decent match.
He is such a, okay, this is what I'll say, because two of the rom-coms that I'm very passionate about are Sleepless in Seattle and
Harry Met Sally.
No. Oh. While You Were Sleeping. And the thing about them both, well, in While You Were Sleeping, Bill Pullman is the winner. But in Sleepless in Seattle, Bill Pullman is the character. He's like the Bridget Wilson Sampras from like The Wedding Planner. He's not the right one, but he's perfectly fine. And that's exactly how I felt about James, where he's like, he's not the right one, but he is so nice and there's nothing wrong with him.
He wasn't a villain.
Yeah.
It was similarly with this character in Happy's Season.
Yeah.
He just happened to be straight.
Yeah.
For now.
Well, there were two in Happy Season because Aubrey Plaza
but she was a different. She was doing.
But that's my point. Is it's like there's always the character who's like good, but not good, not exactly right.
Well, there's not always, but
there should be more.
I appreciate it. Although there was a part of me that I was gonna say it's not that this movie needed another layer, but I was like, there's a part of me that wonders what like a scheming.
Sure, it could have been like one layer more complicated.
I'm just not the way the movie is. There's no reality where Luke McFarlane is like scheming to get Michael Urie to this.
He was so cute though, so appealing, so cute. And that's the thing that I liked the best is that he's also just not terrible. Like they like each other. Mm-hmm. Like they're having fun, good dates.
OnlyFans.
Yeah, no, I am on your team. I'm on your team with that. But I really
because there was also a moment he sees them interact at the pageant.
Yeah,
and like followed through with their date plans. So there was a moment where I was like, oh, is he going to be manipulative? And he wasn't.
But he just was like, until they say something, I'm not going to say something, like that kind of thing.
But no, I did love that after she set up that blind date that she weirdly stayed out of it.
Yeah.
Like she was. Also, they were so judgy about that fake Christmas tree. As if that woman, Christmas Carol, didn't have 7 Christmas trees in that house.
Okay, that's my first thing about that. If someone is making you call them Christmas Carol and she only has 1 tree, I don't believe you.
No, but I mean, I absolutely totally get the charm of a real Christmas tree, and it's the kind of thing that if it is available to you, I absolutely think you should do it. Probably even more than once. We have real.
So they are in New Hampshire, where real Christmas trees are aplenty.
We had real trees.
I get that.
Growing, like I was well into middle school into high school when we got fake ones, and I overwhelmingly preferred the fake ones. Well, we could have it up longer.
Yeah,
it didn't take as much to light because they were pre-lit, and yeah, I don't know. If it's a good one, I like a fake Christmas tree.
I can't do real ones in Florida because they just die so fast. You also have to keep them watered, and it's just.
I remember my mom watering it, and that's where it's like you get the sap and you get the pine and you get the needles, and it's like it has its own.
Yeah.
And we had several different types of Christmas trees.
We always had 2. We had the real one that was fancy that my mom decorated, and then we had the fake one that was family ornaments that was in the living or the family room.
Mm-hmm. But so anyways, I just thought that was a weird little subplot.
It was a pretty tacky tree, but.
So my issue, it wasn't the theming. I like the notion of a white tree with silver and gold star ornaments. Sure. It just was cheap.
Yeah.
That's my issue.
Well, she also was so proud that the ornaments came with the tree, and I was just like,
it doesn't feel like Carol.
Christmas
That's
Carol.
Not Christmas Carol.
Yeah, come on.
I kept waiting for the calendar to play in. I thought for sure they were going to be stupid enough when Jennifer Coolidge came in and put the 10 up
To just like forget.
to forget. I thought that they were going to be stupid enough to be like 3 days behind. And part of me kept waiting. Like, we keep focusing on the, and I guess it's meant for tension because Christmas is coming.
It's just like time, like a time passage.
we keep focusing on this calendar and it does not.
Yeah. The only thing for me is I was curious why Jennifer Coolidge even did that. Just was she like hoping for more time because of the pageant, or
I don't know.
it was, that part was a little bizarre.
I love Jennifer Coolidge, and this was a excellent use of her because most importantly, they do not over rely on her.
Yeah.
They trot her out 2 or 3 times and they keep her stuff very condensed. And I also like giving her something.
Yes.
Like this pageant that she's working on.
Well, she's also not, it's like not peak Jennifer Coolidge. She's not doing
She's
like Stifler's mom or like the character from Best in Show. She's like playing a human person that's just a little kooky. And I loved that.
I need a montage just on a loop of her saying Mary.
Yeah.
Mary.
She kept pronouncing Mary this really weird.
She also kept saying,
Unless you look deeper, there's nothing particularly remarkable about Mary.
That's my favorite part.
It comes back 2 or 3 times to the point where I was like, does she have a vendetta against this particular niece?
I don't know.
Like, what?
Like, great niece. But I do look, because it was Sophia who was playing Mary and then Daniela as the sister. And the first time it happens, Daniela leans over to Nick and just goes, that's my favorite part of the whole show.
Because that also implies history that this has been. And there was a very, very specific relatability to her just shrieking at all of the kids.
His line works.
And Sandy, I don't know what to do, so why don't you just show me?
Try that.
Because they were not doing the show well, it took me back to so many neighborhood plays and pageants.
Where you were Jennifer Coolidge.
Yeah, thank you guys, because actually they put up with more than you would have thought. I also love the Glinda that she's just dressed
wearing the Glinda
dressed
dress
as Glinda for no reason.
That was pretty funny.
I also loved that they actually filmed this in cold somewhere.
It was filmed in Canada, but
somewhere where there was actual snow on the ground, because a lot of those Hallmark Christmas movies get a lot of mileage out of the like same looping graphic that they place over the scenes, because the same snowflake will every so often.
Yeah.
And they also do it when it's sunny out, like the sunshine is shining.
Like the California sunshine.
And there is not, that does not happen. God bless whatever company got this footage, this B-roll of LA, because it's in movies all the time.
Yeah.
And it's when the Sharp Objects billboards were up. So Sharp Objects is perpetually being advertised in LA and movies for like the last 5 years.
I did not even notice that. That was a good catch.
You can always see the Sharp Objects, and I'm like, whoever.
That's really funny.
Oh yeah, I was like, it was so inappropriate putting all of that weird pressure on Nick, who's just trying. You're already home with someone else's family.
I mean, he knows them. It's implied that they have all met.
Sure, but
it would be worse if it would be worse if this was the first time that he had met the family and they were like, "You guys are in love. You should tell him."
I also thought it was funny. This is just a personal anecdote, but I thought it was funny when they were talking about Nick and James were on a date, or Peter and James were on a date, and they were like, "Did they go to Mom and Dad's bar?"
Oh yeah.
And I was like, "What a funny, like, clever name for like the only bar in a small town."
Yeah.
And it turns out that their mom and dad own a bar. And I was like, oh.
It's also called Lisa's Crisis, which I think is hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, because that's her name is Lisa. So it's like the bar is her crisis. I find that's
actually
absolutely hilarious.
pretty good. But it just reminds me of, there was a like teen club in my hometown called My Brother's Place. And I was so confused as to why so many of my friends were hanging out with brothers that I didn't know they had. They would be like, I was at my brother's place on Sunday, and I was like, huh.
What brother?
What feel,
adult brother do you have?
I feel like weeks into months of my life, I was like, this refrain I keep hearing is...
I beg your pardon.
I actually never went. Never went to my brother's place.
Is it still open? We can make a pilgrimage.
I think it's like a Christian coffee bar.
Ooh. Never mind.
Meanwhile, I currently live at my brother's place. And yeah, I made a note here where I was like, I don't love this character assassination of James. Like 2/3 into the movie, they were.
What were they? Oh, they just all wanted him to wanted him to be
they're
with
just
Nick.
like, James sucks.
Yeah.
And I was like, actually, the movie's made a big point that that's not true.
Yeah, no, he's great. He's super cute. Permanently closed. I needed to know.
There's a real button on that permanent. I mean,
That's what Google says. My permanently closed my brother's place. Yeah.
Waldorf, Maryland.
No, actually, this is Northwest DC, so this must be a different place.
Or it moved.
Or it moved, yeah. But it's too late now. We waited too long.
Also, mercifully, like an hour and a half. I think it's like an hour and 40 minutes. It did
139, yeah.
Did not need to be.
No. It was good.
Longer.
It was the right length. I think the cast was great. I think the story was good enough. I just really thought it was cute. Also, like, let's keep Michael Urie working. Adorable.
Well, and like I said, it much like Happiest Season, it's like its mediocrity is the necessity.
Yeah, that's part
like,
of it.
We need just like serviceable, like not every gay thing has to be an event.
Yeah.
Like just sort of a serviceable Christmas, like, and actually furthermore, I do like how little them being gay had to do with anything.
Yeah,
there's the mom reading the book, but
they just wanted Peter to be with someone. They just wanted him to have a partner.
Yeah, I just really have
He wants to have a partner too. So I mean, they're not like forcing him.
No,
into
I know.
having a
We
partner.
actually we didn't mention at all saving Emmett, although.
So cute.
So I know that not everybody agrees with me, but I feel like it's a bold move to establish a children's book in a pound, because I would be very concerned about the 99 other dogs in that pound.
Okay, I've never met anyone else where they see a dog getting rescued and they're like, what about the other dogs though? It's always just
Since
like
I was a child.
the happy dog at the happy dog. And he's just like, well, what about the dog that's right there? And
I've been into a pound or a rescue once in my life, and I could not handle it. I didn't go when we got Daly. I didn't go when we got Serby. I can't handle it. And so when you show me a video and you're like, but look, this dog gets rescued. And I'm like, meanwhile, I can't handle it. So
I don't show you those videos anymore.
no, you don't. But I did love, and actually I also, I love that this movie made a point to note that while Nick has a, semi quasi successful children's book, he's not just suddenly wealthy.
Well, it does.
You can have moderately performing.
He has more money than that. Because he has like a fund, and that's how he pays for the rent on the shop at the end, is because he uses the saving of it.
The like rainy day fund.
Yeah.
But it's like, I mean,
he's a task rabbit. He's doing like stuff every day.
But I like that they sort of address that it is possible. It's sort of, you can gig with novels or like telling stories.
Sure. Yeah.
It was very, very cutely illustrated. And the dog, because I was very distressed that they weren't bringing the dog with them.
It's so much worse and more stressful to put a dog on a plane.
That's the realism that we're going to like nitpick over in this movie.
Just saying.
Because they make a point to make Emmett a character, like reaction shots and all. And then they put him in a doggy hotel. And I was like, what? And you were very like, not smugly, but very like, it's a plot. It's a thing. And so we were like a good 10 minutes in, and I was like, oh, was that the second book? And it's like Christmas Hotel. So yeah, for the most part,
yeah, thumbs up.
For what it is, great. Excellent.
Super good. Yeah.
And I sat down and watched a Christmas rom-com, and I didn't hate it. And so much so that I might watch it again.
Oh my God, yay.
Do you have anything else?
Nope. I just liked it. So.
Mary. You're gonna need to pull that, Will.
About Mary. I just liked it. You can catch it on Netflix if you want to watch it. We definitely both recommend it. You can follow us on Twitter at soimwatching, Instagram at soimwatching the show. We also have a website, soimwatching.com, which links out to everything. If you'd like to support us, you can buy the book we wrote.
It's about fairy tales. It's not for children.
No, it's not really free. It's like 600 pages long too.
I always feel weird saying it's adult fairy tales because it's not erotica either.
No,
it's just
yeah.
there's language and drugs and
It's
stuff.
not spicy. Don't come at us for smut.
No, oh yeah, I was like, I mean, it's not spicy, but
No, it's not spicy.
no, it's not.
And for internet standards, it is not spicy.
I mean, the characters have sex.
Yes, but it's not described
it's not
at
erotica.
length.
No,
Yeah.
it's not erotica.
All right. Other than that, we have a Patreon, we have a Cash App, we have a Venmo, we have a coffee. We are, poor. Give us money.
Like a real turn.
Merry Christmas. Bye.